It's that time again! It's the Berkey and the Badger Board Game Babble Show. It's gonna get wild, it's gonna get wacky, it might even get a little zany. We're gonna talk about board games and the board game industry. And, you know, we might talk about anything else we want to talk about!
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for your right honorable King, King Berkey?
Hey, hey, hey! We are here! It's the Berkey and the Badger Board Game Babble Show. And yes, I'd like to welcome you to the wonderful kingdom of Babblot. I am your rightful, honorable ruler, King Berkey. I am the host of this most elegant podcast, which streams live on YouTube directly from Babblelot. Well, everybody is a board game enthusiast, from your humble king right down to the slowest of snail catchers. Yes, well, speaking of the lowest of low, welcome my co-host, the court gesture, who will explain what this snail catching's all about, Badger.
Oh, your highness, you're so kind. How are you doing, your royalness of royalness?
Yes, I'm incognito today with my Christmassy futuristic thing going on.
I'm in Sunday wear, even though it's Tuesday.
Oh, you're in your sweats?
I'm in my sweats, man.
Yes, Chancho, I need to borrow your sweats, Chancho.
'Cause you ripped your blouse, was it?
I ripped my blouse. Remember that time when I was in my glory and they were shouting out my name? And then I ripped my blouse?
Yes, it's that season to go snail catching at the moment, due to the fact that, you know, down in the south side here of Babblot, for Christmas, one of our delicacies is eating snails, and so I thought snail catching was quite a low kind of positional job.
Oh, escargot?
Escargot, yes.
Escargot in French. Is escargot a full meal or an aperitif?
It's a starter, yes, an aperitif. More like like a prawn cocktail, or a shrimp cocktail. Sorry,
shrimp, like prawn. Yes, the prawn.
But instead of being drenched in horseradish sauce, it's actually drenched in
now we're talking
garlic sauce.
Now we're cooking with peanut oil.
Yeah.
Oh, so what have you been up to, Sir Badger the Brave? I know you've been quite busy in Babblot lately, where I've barely been able to contact you via the Royal Regent.
Oh, you haven't been contacting me at all. You've been away. You've been away on visiting duties.
Yes, the life of royalty.
Yeah. So, this is episode 63. 63. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
5 years and we're on episode 63 already. We're going to be talking about all the things that have been happening here in Babblot. We're also going to do a roundup on rumours that are going around in things that make us go, Before I take His Royal Highness out into the Woods of Evergreen to try and show him how snail catching works, and also reminisce about those great games from 2006. And then we're going to finish off with our Babble subject, and we're going to be talking about games to play after the turkey has been eaten.
Eaten after the turkey is gone.
Yeah.
And the Hassenpfeffer.
And the Hassenpfeffer.
Yes.
The Sossenpfeffer. So, what's been happening in the royalness of Royal Highnesses' houses?
Yes. What have you been up to, Sir Badger the Brave?
Oh, me? Oh, right. You come to my snail catching house. My snail farm.
Oh, snail farm. Is it very slow going right now this year?
Yes. Oh, you're such a slimy little
Yeah, I see what we did there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel a little sluggish right now.
Yeah, I shall tell you what I've been up to.
All right.
Gaming-wise, I haven't been doing a lot of gaming, which is really, really not much fun. But I have been doing quite a bit of music, tying up loose ends with the Seventh Continent soundtrack. But yeah, I'm really miffed that I haven't been playing many games at the moment due to the fact that, one, my wife is no longer working. She was giving the boot, which she took graciously and gratefully because her job was starting to really wind her up. And so she's at home all the time, but all the plans that we made for this little time we'd have together have gone right out the window due to the fact that the kids have been very, very sick, and then they were sick again, and then we had the bathroom to be done. So it's like I had to look after the kids while she was doing the bathroom, and then she was looking after the kids while I was working in here, and it's like... And we haven't had a chance to get any games to the table. I've got so many games. I put them all on my game topper, all the games that I want to play. So when my wife comes in here tomorrow to try out her computer, which I'm setting up over the other side of the office there, which is going to make it a bit more cramped in here, she can see all the games, and maybe she'll be tempted to play one or two.
Yeah, that Aurora, that gal of yours, she's a master craftsman. I mean, she did all the tile work on your flooring and in your bathroom, and she's putting all the plumbing in. I mean, that's fantastic.
She's not putting the plumbing.
She didn't do the plumbing?
No, she hasn't done the plumbing.
I thought she was putting in the sinks too, just the tile work?
Yeah, it's just all the tile work and the woodwork, the doorway and everything, and the painting. And
well, it's still pretty remarkable, I gotta say.
Yeah, I'm just I don't know how to do it, and I'm not going to bother trying because I know that I'll fluff it up. So, that's what I've been up to in Babblelot. And now catching the illness of the kids as well. What have you been up to, my sire?
Well, it's like, this is so good. You see what this is? Oh, can you see the...
It's a mini pizza.
Oh, the deliciousness that's going on in here. This is like the best. It's like... This is a smoked summer sausage that we just made. 100 pounds of this delectable... the smokiness. It's like it actually melts in my tongue. It's like... It's just... I don't really want to talk right now because this is like really good. But this makes good radio if you can't see this, but... You might want to go to the YouTube video just to check this out because this is like pure deliciousness. Yeah.
Crescent moon.
Well,
no moon.
In the royal court, we make 300 pounds of sausage, generally every year after the venison has been taken care of from the king's forest. Well, this year we took it up a notch. We made 150 pounds of our 5-generation German sausage. This sausage is in rings. It's fantastic. Barry, I sent some pictures to you. I don't know if you can post them, but we hand stuff this. We have an old antique stuffer. This is mixed with this 5-generation recipe of German sausage. It's just fantastic. Lots of garlic, lots of pepper. Fantastic. But then we also started making bratwurst. And so we made 140 pounds of bratwurst. Then we decided to make summer sausage. So we did 100 pounds of summer sausage. Then we had all kinds of extra goodies where we had some ground pork and some ground venison and all of that. And our freezer, if you go to Facebook and check out Kevin Burkhardsmeyer, you're going to see all kinds of sausage making videos and goodness. And but this deal, I started Friday grinding in the late afternoon. And Saturday, we started 7 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get done till 12:30 that night. It was crazy. My son-in-law and daughter, Hannah, were here. My other daughter, Maddie, and her husband, Jack, were here. My son, Josiah, and his girlfriend. And it's just all-day sausage. And the thing I got to tell you about sausage is we love this so much. It's such a tradition in our family. one time we had friends come over, and they brought over a chicken casserole, and it had rice and stuff. And I went like, hold it, we're not eating chicken today. This is about sausage. You take that chicken and get it out of here. And my wife looked at me, and his wife looked at her, and I said, I'm not kidding. Get that chicken out of here. We're eating sausage, and that's all that this day is about. We're pumping sausage. We got horseradish mustard, and we've got beer. This is German sausage making 101, baby. And so we had a great party.
Cool. Did you invite Kabuki Kid and Ben Lunches?
Look at everybody that's in the house already. We got Game All Night is here. Sir Chris of Whitpan. And we have Kabuki Kid and Ben Lunches. He's ready for lunch here with this beautiful summer sausage.
He's not the only one.
I have stories about how we came upon different things, and I could tell you story after story about our sausage making, but it's just a whole bunch of fun. And it's one of those things, when you have family traditions, especially, it's kind of interesting because when I posted on Facebook, it's amazing how much interaction I get because we're posting some of these just human family type things, that you're doing. And it's like not that many people do this thing anymore. They don't can foods like, my wife cans salsa from the garden, and we still do all of these things that are probably a little outdated, but it's kind of a novelty now because not that many people are doing it. Like when we visited you showed us about the champagne making and how people on the side are making ratafia and all of those kind of things. It's just so interesting.
Yeah, and then there's the food itself. We have quite a lot of land here, so obviously gardeners will garden. It's like you go into the cellar of my mum and dad's, well, the in-laws. That's the right word. And you'll see jars and jars of fruit that they've pickled and vegetables that they've preserved, runner beans, beetroot, and all those kind of things. And we do the same. And it's just like natural. It's just great to have all that in reserve, ready for when the kingdom collapses for some strange reason. There's an influx of dragons in the area. And Babblot is burnt to the ground. And we have to get Kabuki Kid in to draw us a new Babblot castle, and we'll move into that.
Well, like Kabuki, she said she loves it when her grandmother would make her jar of tomato sauces back in the day, and that she had never eaten better sauce. And it was like, we do that too. We have 3 different types of tomatoes, and it's just a big deal. We make an old dish from my grandma called Kuchen. It's a German kind of like a pastry, and it's really thin crust with like a custard, a vanilla type of custard with sugar and cinnamon on it. And it's very difficult to get right. And but you don't hear people doing that kind of thing. But when we do it, we make a big family deal out of it. So the whole family gets in on it, and we're all enjoying. And then the daughters, and my son, they'll get around the sink cleaning all the dishes. And at this time of year, they all just start spontaneously singing Christmas carols and in 5-part harmonies, and it's just this thing that we just love. It's just a part of our traditions, and we hope other people enjoy that kind of stuff too. For us, that's really a big thing.
A way to get through the summer season, the winter seasons of in your cold shack.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Not that you've got a cold shack.
It has been cold up here in Minnesota too. We had some below zero weather over evening already Fahrenheit, so it's been pretty chilly. But I suppose we should move on. We do have a sponsor of our show, and we first want to talk about our sponsor, Academy Games. Academy Games is known for their Birth of America series games. They're some of my favorites. 1775. I just love this game. It's just so great. They've got 1754, 1812. They have the 878 Vikings game, Mare Nostrum. They have Freedom, the Underground Railroad. They have I just lost it. Babylon.
The sandwich game.
Yeah, the sandwich game, not Bologna. Babylon. Pride of Babylon. That is out. But recently, they just released their big Kickstarter called Tutor. And this has a really interesting worker placement element where you are gathering at the table to be these nobles to move up in the rank, to go up there. I thought it was such an innovative worker placement system. A little bit of take that and just this interesting action selection ability that you get if you get different rings on the different fingers. You get these player cards that are a five-handed finger thing. It's not the six-fingered man, but the five-fingered man, and you get to actually put them on top. And if you have a combination of different rings, that gives you special abilities, and there's different cards that allow you to change that and help you on moving up the track. And it's very interesting, and it appears that this here now is going to be available shortly in retail, and it's called Tutor, and that's from our friends at Academy Games. You can check them out, academygames.com.
That reminds me, you saying rings on your finger, and that was a title of actual game.
Rings on my finger?
Yeah, from MB. I'm just going to look it up. Rings on Your Finger, 1983.
Wow, that's when I graduated.
My sister used to have this game.
Well, I think, now we had a poll going on.
We did indeed.
Yeah, tell us about the poll, Barry.
Well, on our last show, we were talking about things we were looking forward to next year in the board game calendar. And I put a little poll up.
Barry, what's really good about... I know you're talking about your poll, but I just felt like interrupting.
That's okay.
But do you know what's really good with this sausage?
Hummus?
Cheese. And you know what else is really good with this sausage?
Beer.
Crackers. So you can have cheese, crackers, and you can have aperitifs with it too.
Yeah.
Right now I have coffee, but I'm going to have stuff other than coffee.
Beer.
And I just want the world to know how awesome the sausage is. And you can keep talking if you want. I'm just going to enjoy this sausage and show it to people here.
So I posted I posted a poll on our Geek Guild 2248 asking you what was the game that you were looking forward to coming in 2019. And I put a list of games up there, but obviously I left a little space for you guys to also put some comments as well. And what we had, the most popular game, which got about 32% of the votes, was a game called On Mars, which I know diddly about and never heard of. With all these Mars games coming out.
I don't know sausage about that game.
You don't know sausage about that game? Well, no. Let me show you what On Mars looks like. It looks like this. It's from Eagle Griffin Games. And it has an interesting premise of maybe setting up a base, a colony on Mars. And I don't think that's been done before.
So tell us about the poll. What was the actual poll?
The poll. Well, it's about 6 foot long. It's got a flag hanging on the top.
Okay, I like those kind of polls.
Yeah. So that was one of the most popular out of the 134 votes that we had. Barrage.
What was the question of the poll?
I told you.
I was eating.
You got sausage in your ears.
I can't eat and talk at the same time.
Yeah. So Barrage was the second most voted game, followed by Tricerian, the Dalgarahagr Academy, and then there was a load of other games which came out of the poll as well. We have Jordan Bross, who's looking forward to Street Masters. Sam Carroll, who's looking forward to Mr. President. Desiree... I'm not going to say the other one name. I am dyslexic as hell. Unfair Expansion, plus Alien B movie, Dinosaur Western, and Everdale Pearlbrook. Jerome's looking forward to Barrage as well, and Escape Plan. And someone put they're looking forward to Pandemic Legacy Season 3. Andreas Vextuk.
Why? Wow.
Oh, interesting. So yeah, there was quite a lot of responses. Someone's actually looking forward to Rallyman GT, as well as I am. So that's good to see. And so yeah, that was the poll. Thank you everyone for voting what you voted. Let's see if these games live up to our hopes and dreams, is all I can say.
So what are you most excited about then?
What am I most excited about? Batman.
Game. Batman.
Gotham City Chronicles. And Museum.
Well.
And yourself?
Yeah. Well,
I think we said all this.
Mine happened really quick, so because they Blood Rage just had a big Kickstarter with Cool Mini or Not, Simon Games, and they're doing a digital implementation. That the campaign's over. I don't know if they're doing a late pledge manager or not, but it raised about $600,000, I believe. But all kinds of cool new monsters and miniatures and some upgrades to the existing components of the game. Plus this digital implementation, so I'm crazy excited about getting that. I think that's going to be a great addition to my favorite games. So,
and there you go. That was the poll. We're going to post another poll up later on after this show. We're probably to ask you something about what you think are the best games to plonk onto the table once the turkey is gone. You can, if you're in the chat now, write this down. Some of your games that you would recommend playing after the turkey is gone with your family or your friends.
Well, I think with that, we're going to move right on to our segment.
Things that make us go, Board game news. Berkey and Badger reflect on the current events that are happening in the board game industry. Some may be good, some may be bad. But there are all things that make us go,
All right, well, things that make you go, what's making you go, Barry?
Something that made me go, after recently working...
Have I told you how stinking awesome this sausage is?
This is going to be the longest show ever with the least amount of content ever.
I don't remember the last time I enjoyed myself as much as this on this show. And
right. So our last show you didn't enjoy at all, being with me in the same room at the same table.
Well, that was really good, but we had
drinking.
a lot of ratafia, so that's why that worked well. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry. I did it on purpose. Game All Night says, I need a good Wisconsin cheddar. This is a light cheddar, but I prefer like a Kobe Jack or a smoked Gouda. But this is already smoked, so it's Chris has got a good palate. He understands these things. I'm gonna have to hook him up with some of this sausage.
I'm extra strong Canadian cheddar.
Yeah, you want that smelly cheese that your father-in-law had.
Oh, the Marwell.
I thought I was eating a dead sock.
But it's so nice. I love it now. It's just like with the right red wine, with a fresh baguette. It's you just eat it and eat it, but not with chocolate spread. Doesn't go with chocolate spread. I tried that.
It doesn't go with anything. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's cook all night show. That's what we're gonna be.
Cook all night.
You don't mind if we take that, do you, Chris?
Cook all night with Berkey and Badger and special guest Chris Whitpan.
Yeah. Okay. So,
all right, go ahead.
One of the things that made me go is recently on a Kickstarter project that I was quite close to. The mentality of some people made me go Some of the comments that you get on a Kickstarter project are just some of the worst things you could possibly read. Especially when this project was cancelled after it was funded. People were up in arms, and they weren't just like, what's going on? They were like, oh, this is total waste of time. This is bleep, bleep, unprofessional bleeps. And I'm like, what? Do you know the story behind it? No. So why do you put comments like this?
What was the campaign and what was the story?
Well, the campaign was Badass Force, which I've been talking about for months and months and months and months.
Oh.
They had reached their funding goal. Okay? But the thing is, the funding goal was set very low, so that when backers get the game funded, it gets that little kind of like tick the box, we funded in the first day, instead of a game that funds in the 16th day.
Yeah.
Obviously, if it funds in the first day, it's going to get a lot more attention. So obviously, that funding level was low. After it was funded, it just stagnated out. There was like nothing. And so the backers, the campaign runners thought, well, you know, if this carries on, we're not going to be able to make the money that we've already invested, let alone be able to make money to print this game. Because if you think about it, it's a brand new company. They've quit their jobs for a year and a half. They've been going out and developing this game, using all their money, all their savings, developing a game which they want to bring to you. They've invested in the art. They've been playtesting. They've been touring around Europe, demoing the game, getting playtesters to play it, to look for bugs. And after all this time, they got the product ready. They want to, they put it on the Kickstarter and they put it at a low level and it funds and that's it. It doesn't bring in any more money. They put on lots of stretch goals. They put on extra add-ons, but the level just went up very, 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 very slowly. And so they pulled the plug because they weren't going to make the money that they'd already invested into the game, let alone go to the end of the campaign and go, okay, right, we're going to make the game for you, but we're going to have to pull back on some of the quantity and the quality of this game due to the fact that we don't have enough money, and we have no money to put in our pockets, and we've had no money in our pockets for a year and a half from this game.
Well, question, did they cancel the Kickstarter before the end of the campaign or after the campaign?
Halfway through.
Halfway through. Yeah. Well, this is I'm gonna play both sides of the fence here on this devil's advocate with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's two things to think about. First off, they set a funding goal that wasn't their real goal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now the reason companies do this on Kickstarter is because they're setting a low goal because they want the algorithms that are all working with Kickstarter, working with other social media to show the success of an early launch. So if it successfully funds right away, that kicks it up to the top of the page and to the hot games section of Kickstarter, hot items, that type of thing. It also creates a momentum. The problem with most Kickstarters, right in the very center of this Kickstarter, is going to be the dog days of summer, where everything goes flat. And then generally at the very end, it picks up an incredible amount of steam. Now, if the company is seeing that, okay, our funding goal was reached, however, it wasn't our real goal, and now we're at a place where this isn't going to work well for us, I think they do have the right to reboot. However, there may be some issues with how they communicated that to the community. Because you can set a low funding goal and say, hey, we're going to produce this game. And then if you go back on it, you look like mud. Okay? But on the other side of it, if you say, we need to reboot this, we need to do a better job of pre-marketing, which a lot of Kickstarters sadly don't do. They launched their campaign with not a lot of... in today's Kickstarter world, you need to be pre-marketing for 3 to 6 months in advance minimum to get the attention once it hits Kickstarter. And a lot of these companies, they're ready to go because they finally got the development done, but then the pre-marketing hasn't been adequate to get the right amount of buzz, or they released it at the wrong time of year. these kind of things, or with a competing thing. So I think there's a lot of different thoughts why people get frustrated, because they might have backed it, and then all of a sudden they find out that, oh, now you're not going to do it. So
yeah, but when you're backing something and no money has been taken from you, why do people cry that they feel that they've lost something when they've lost nothing? They've lost minutes of time by clicking on something. That's all they've lost. But I've seen comments where they are up in arms about this campaign due to the fact that people, because the game's being made, oh, this is wasted my money. And it's like, well, you haven't taken any money. Your money's been refunded back. The campaign's been cancelled. That's the way it is. Wait for it to come back around. Maybe Kickstarter is not the best place for it, because obviously that's a good indication as well. Kickstarter tells you how much interest there is in a game. Maybe it should go straight to retail.
I don't agree with that personally. That might be an opinion that, okay, we're doing it out here just to test the market. But I feel that when you're launching a Kickstarter, you are putting something out where you are engendering people's trust. And they get excited to come alongside you to make this dream a reality. And then when you pull the plug on them, it's a buzzkill for them, because they were all excited. So yeah, they didn't lose any money, but they lost the time that they invested supporting you. They lost the time they invested sharing your Kickstarter, and then they looked like a fool.
Now, seriously, would you have been upset if Indiana Jones, the Crystal Skull one, had never been made? Would you have been upset?
Well, I don't remember that one, but...
Precisely. Would you have been upset if it had been made or hadn't been made? You would have been upset if it had been made and it was crap, which it was, and a lot of people were upset that it was made and it was crap.
But that's not the problem here. They didn't pull the plug because the game needed more development.
No, precisely. So they pulled the plug. How many projects don't make it past the go phase, and yet people are hissy-fitting... Well, it just overwhelms me. It's just like, I say I'm going to review this game, and then all of a sudden I say, I can't review it because nobody play it with me. So then I get like 50 emails saying you're an a-hole for saying that you were going to review that game. I don't like you anymore. You should go and burn in a stake somewhere. That's what it's like. It's like,
oh yeah, no, I'm not in any way condoning people that are being abusive or trollish. I don't think that's fair. However, I can understand how some people would really be disappointed. I also understand the position of the company.
Yeah.
That they're looking like, listen, we really need to re-go at this again and try to be more successful. Otherwise, we're not going to be here as a company. Now, I didn't follow those comments or anything like that, so I don't know what the company's response was and how thoughtful it was regarding their decision. But I think a company has the right to pull a Kickstarter. I don't think that that's unfair.
Yeah.
But I think
your boat's not going to float, you don't put it in the water. Simple as that.
Yeah, but they also need to understand that they've got people who are investing in them. Maybe it's just total altruism that backers back, but I don't think so. They're expecting something.
No money has changed hands. So what have you lost? You've lost nothing. Why are you crying? Why was it a majority of these complaints and nasty comments came from super backers? That was the thing that blew my mind as well. Super backers. Surely they've backed 50,000 projects and not all of them have been funded, or some of them have been funded and plugs been pulled and bits and pieces. It's just, made me go.
My perspective, if I was watching all that and I had backed and I had shared and I had invested my emotional energy in it, I'd be disappointed. I probably would never get trollish about it unless they were really being dinks about it.
Look at the Gut Shop game, the Gut Shop game that they had. They had the figures game, and that was a Kickstarter that went on, and that got cancelled because they weren't making the money that they wanted. and nobody said it. Nobody batted an eyelid.
Well, and I think that's okay. I think a lot of times when they reboot, if they come back and just say, really, we want to be, everyone wants to be successful. We feel we have a really good game, but in order for us to really do this, I remember the Secret Cabal gaming podcast when they did their first Kickstarter. They put a funding goal, I think it was like $15,000. It was really low. That did not meet their need for Jamie to go full time.
Yeah.
But he was really, really clear about it in the beginning. He said, listen, I need this thing to hit about $80,000 so that I can leave this job. I can dedicate to do this, and this. And he just emphatically said, I need all of your help. We've got a low funding goal, but that doesn't mean we made it. And so the presentation was such that if they wouldn't have made it, they did make it, but had they not made it and he canceled it, people would have understood. And the problem with some of this other stuff, that's not the way it's presented generally. It's not presented, if we don't have so much, we're not going to really be able to make this game. It's like, no, here's our funding goal and here's all the cool stuff. And then all of a sudden they just pull the plug. It's how you communicate these things is my point. The
communication was there. But
that was good.
Yeah, people still cried and kicked up a fuss about it. And that is the annoying thing. It's like, okay, look, this project's not going well. We're not going to make as much money as we thought we'd make. And that won't really cover the full cost of all the games and all the bits and pieces. Yada, yada, yada. Look out for us in the future. We're going to rethink our strategy. We know we're at fault. We know we've done something wrong. We're going to come back to this with clean heads and restart it. And people should be saying, okay, yeah, we'll look forward to you in the future. But no, most of the comments are, you are scum. Well, you are not professional. This is your first project. And you're not professional. Well, of course you're not professional. How many schools are there where you learn how to run a Kickstarter? There's not many. It's just word of mouth from Jamie Stegmaier or whoever else you know. There's no school. There's no board game school of design, is there? Board game designers don't go to school to learn how to design games. So everybody's an amateur. This is almost like a full-blown Babble topic. It is. Because I think let's wrap it up, shall we? No. I'm not dismissing your feelings on it. I also don't want to dismiss other people's feelings on it because I think there are two ways of thinking when this happens. And Kabuki Kid says it feels deceptive, but on a low level. So I'm kind of with you, Barry, that it's not. People shouldn't get so crazy butthurt over it. But on the other hand, I can understand how they feel disappointed. How they respond to that disappointment is the part I really agree with you. I don't think people. It's not their life. It's not their livelihood. It's whether they get a game or don't get a game is not the end of the world. No, and sometimes they make the biggest deal out of something that is just kind of silly. But on the other hand, it's a tough thing because if a Kickstarter doesn't succeed, then it defeats the purpose of Kickstarter. If we would have only done $50,000, our funding goal on Game Toppers, we would not have a company. I would have made a small batch of them. I would have probably lost some money and said I got to figure something else out because this didn't work. Yeah. Now, would have I pulled the plug on it? I don't know. I may have had to in a situation like that. But we knew that we would do it. We knew that I had a minimum that I had to meet. And we surpassed it just immediately. So there wasn't an issue with that. But that wasn't artificial marketing. Because I would have honored what I agreed to as the part. But I think there does come a point in time where different companies for different reasons have to pull the plug. Mm-hmm. And I've seen a lot of Kickstarters do that. They've pulled the plug because they missed something, or it's not reaching the people, or there's too many other Kickstarters going at the same time. I know that there was a few going on at the same time that Claustrophobia was going on, and due to the fact of that, some of them got delayed, some of them didn't successfully fund. So there was a lot of that going on. And there's always a lot of that going on.
I saw Maple Games put out two games. They did Dragon Boats, which I thought was a really fantastic Kickstarter, but it just didn't seem to get the traction. And then they came out with Imaginarium, and they didn't cancel those campaigns. And yet I know that at the amount that they raised, 23,000 or something, 30,000, whatever it was, the economics don't work. And
but
so
they're already an established company.
Well, no, they're a new company. Maple Games is just brand new. Daryl Andrews is a very significant designer, but his company Maple Games is brand new, and so the scenario there is he already has distribution deals that his product can go to distribution after this funding. So it isn't solely dependent on Kickstarter, but there are different business models that make it solely dependent on that capitalization.
And again, if you're a newbie and you've got nothing behind you, you're going to try to get your project off the ground, aren't you? The best way you can.
It's a tricky scenario. It's a risk.
Yeah.
It's a risk. Hey, I'm going to do something. We're going to move on. I think it's a. You can tell that there's a lot of thoughts to talk about this, so we might have to revisit this topic.
There's lots on the chat as well. Yeah,
no, it's fantastic. Before we move on, we want to talk about our sponsor, Arcane Wonders. Arcane Wonders has been good friend of mine. Full disclosure, they've been a sponsor of our show for many years. I've helped them with the Sheriff of Nottingham and the King on Royals and the Viking Chieftain on Spoils of War. These are fantastic games that we just absolutely love. However, they have come out with some new games that we haven't really talked that much about. They have the Dice Tower Essential line of games, Onitama, and they have the new expansion, the Wind Spirit. But they have a new game called GoodCritters. This game is you're all these mob bosses that are trying to negotiate who will be the new leader and that kind of thing. It's got a little bit of deduction. It's got a little bit of all kinds of different aspects. That this game is just one big hoot of family fun. We played this camping this summer, and I got to tell you, I love this game. It's a huge hit for us. So you can check that out. But they also have Ruby, and it's out in distribution now. This is from Rooster Teeth, but it's actually designed by Brian Pope, the owner of Arcane Wonders, and that is now absolutely available. And yes, Kabuki Kid, anthropomorphic mob animals. Yeah, baby. And I think I even said that right. Anthropomorphic.
Yeah, once in your life, yeah, you said that.
That's a big word. That's a really big word. So Arcane Wonders, fantastic products. Dice Tower Essential games. Go check them out. You still probably even have time to get some for Christmas. And with that, we're going to move into our next segment.
And here we are in the Woods of Evergreen with our good king, King Berkey, and his faithful little pet, Badger, as they take a stroll along these wonderful parts of Babblelot, looking at the wonderful trees and reminiscing about those wonderful games from those past eras, even maybe before these trees were planted. And they are going to be talking about these games like they still like to play. And this time, on this beautiful Sunday morning, they're going to be talking about games which came from the year 2006.
2006. That was like 12, 13 years ago. That's like an eon ago. It's like a decade. It's more than a decade's worth of time.
I thought you did the math wrong there. I was like...
Well, I am a mathematician by nature.
Okay.
Not by profession.
No.
No. But I know how many this many and this many is. It's 5. Yeah. Okay.
You know
Maybe
what?
it's 6. 2006
That's 4.
in French. Because you
Yeah,
guys
but-
are always... Yeah.
No, but that's 4 fingers and 2 thumbs. So it's 4.
Sausage affects the math skills.
Okay,
Yes,
do
of
you want
course.
to kick off then with
Well,
a game?
I will do that. I gotta tell everybody too. After we get done with our Woods of Evergreen segment, we're gonna go into the Babble topic. But right before we go into the Babble topic, our other sponsor, which happens to be me, Game Toppers, has a really fun little giveaway. And so get ready for that if you're just joining the chat and whatever. There's going to be a fun way for you to win something from Game Toppers. So, with the Woods of Evergreen, we're each going to pull out 3 of the games. My third game, I'm going to go in descending order.
Okay.
Or, no, ascending order. Which is it? I'm going from bottom up.
You're
That's
ascending.
ascending.
You're ascending.
But I'm starting with the lowest one, which is the descendant one.
You're a religious man. You believe in the ascension.
Of course.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, we're not talking about that, though. So we are going ascending. And the ascending order, number 3, this one has a special place in my heart. Twofold. I've had great fun playing this game. I was actually really surprised that it was 2006. I was really surprised when I saw the date. But one of the things that really made it for me was the thematic premise, because there's this huge story that goes into it. And I still remember driving from my brother-in-law's, my brother's house to the Fantasy Flight Game Center, and my son Josiah read the first backstory. Yep, and then read me the backstories, the prologues that were on both of the expansions, and he read them in character as we were driving about an hour, and it was so interesting. This is an epic space battle game. Epic. This is one of the games that does not get to the table very often, but when it does, it's an all-day affair, and it's fantastic. And what am I thinking about?
Nobody said anything in the chat apart from math and religion and counting and ascending and...
I count good. I count more gooder. I count more gooder.
It's Twilight Imperium. Yes, Kabuki. No, it's TI3 Kabuki.
Bananagrams. No, not bananagrams. Ben, that's not it.
This is 2006. This is retro. We're going to go back in time.
But Kabuki says TI4. Kabuki, that just came out. TI4 is not 2006. She does not know how to add dates with it.
She's typo. Yeah, so.
4E. It's Twilight Imperium 3rd edition.
Ooh.
Okay, this game, I mean, you each have a different race, that you have different abilities. There's all kinds of negotiation that's going on. There's allying with one another. There's breaking alliances. There is epic space exploration. There is combat. There's this game is phenomenal. Christian Peterson designed this, and this was really the big launch of Fantasy Flight games. And he's continued to support this IP, continued to keep that in the lineup. And a lot of people have talked about retheming this game into a Star Wars license and blah, 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 blah. But Twilight Imperium and this whole universe it's fantastic. Great game. It's very immersive, so you don't like long strategy games. It's horribly hard to get to the table, but tell you what, when you get 6 folks together to play this game, it's an experience that you'll never forget, and I've never forgotten any of the plays that I've played of it. I think I've only played it 4 times, but it's remarkable.
Interesting. Now, 2006 for me personally was not a great year for games. I've played Twilight Imperium, but once is not enough to judge it and give it a fair... Will you stop it with the sausage, my lord?
It is really, really good.
You know, I've been practicing today, my elocution for this podcast alone, and you cut me off mid-sentence on something which importantly I'm going to say.
Mrs. B, is this corn hand shucked?
Maybe we should get a trumpeter to, like, do a...
This is so good.
Longest show ever.
Okay, go, my friend.
Okay.
I'll eat more silently now.
So what did I say?
But Dr. Leo Marvin, it's really bad. I need. Gimme. That's a reference in the chat. Would you like to talk about your third game of Evergreen?
Well, it's not really a game. It's more of an expansion because I couldn't find any games from 2006 which have a place in my heart.
What?
Yep.
I'm doing the work.
I've been doing the work, but there's nothing there. There's nothing that I've played. Well, there are some games that I've played. I'll see if you mention them in the list. But I've only played them once, so I can't really go, yeah, that's a fantastic game. Yeah. So anyway, my number, the bottom of my list is Heroscape, the Talhanic Tundra expansion.
The whom?
Yeah, I don't know. It's Talik expansion.
Talik. Talik.
Yeah.
Tile
whatever. But it's
tile lick. You lick the tiles before you stick them.
It's an expansion for Heroscape, which adds a snowy tundra. So you got some snowy tundra tiles and some ice tiles, and it also adds a couple of invulnerable snowman creatures to the mix, which was really interesting. Again, it's just more tiles to add to the game of Heroscape, and we love Heroscape here. We love spending a day creating a landscape, and the snow added some really good rules, like the skating rules. So you stand on the snow, the ice, and you'd slide as far as the ice went, which was nice, and a quick way to get around certain parts of the map. And also that you could make the snow quite deep and treacherous, so it would take extra movement points to trod through it. Come with some nice rocky outcrops, and it was a really good expansion. And I kind of like nestled into the more scenic expansions for Heroscape more than the blister packs for the creatures. But yeah, 2006.
You still have a lot of Heroscape, right?
Yeah, it's all underneath my board here. Yeah, underneath my table. So. Oh.
Yeah. Well, believe it or not, I've never played Heroscape.
Oh, you could have played it while you were here.
Ah. Yeah, we should have.
Next year.
There you go. Well, number two. That's in my Eric Summer voice. This is a game produced by a large company overseas that does a lot of games over there. They came out with this game, and they used an innovative mechanism and a component in the game that I think today is still brilliant. I love it. This particular device allowed you to throw your armies in there and hope that the right amount came out. So this game is an area control, but it has this amazing action selection draft, if you will, that has 10 different parts. And there's that day and night, where half of them you can see and the other half you can't see. And that action selection type of mechanism of which one you're going to do first, and the strategy of that, the area control, and then this amazing cube tower. Can you guess what it is?
Kabuki's guessed correctly, I think. It's Shogun.
It's Shogun, produced by Queen Games, and Dirk Henning, I believe, is the designer. I just love that game. I mean, we've played that game several times. We had this awesome experience, and I think this might have something to do with favorite games in a year or two. Sometimes it's more than just that the game is good. It's that we remember some of these amazing experiences. And the first time we met Rob and Patrick from Blue Peg, Pink Peg was at Gen Con with my son. And my son actually taught them the game Shogun late at night. And it was like, good grief, it was like 1 o'clock at night, and we played till like 4 in the morning. And we just had this amazing time. Josiah beat everybody. And it was just this super fun time. And since then, they've come out with some other games utilizing that mechanism. But there's just something about the theme. There's something about the components, about the actual play and the experience that game gives us. We just absolutely love Shogun.
Again, played it once. And as you say, experiences is everything. We played it, and it was a 3-hour game. And we had a player which dragged that out. And it kind of made it a kind of annoying experience for me. But it's still on my shelf. I haven't given it away yet. I am tempted to play it again when I have 3 to 5 players, which is a very unique amount of, when you're used to playing 2-player games. A 3-player game is a bit, but Shogun, good call.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic with 4 or 5.
It's got some great ideas, really, really unique in its mechanisms. I just need to play it with the right people and play it more than once.
There you go.
Okay, my next game.
Your number 2.
Everyone should know this game. It's a game where you are on a case and you're trying to figure out what's going on. You're going to be walking around a labyrinth of a house by not only just rolling the dice, but also by a DVD. And you're going to be deducing. There was no DVD in Mr. Jack.
How do you dejuice something?
You collect clues from rooms. Try and find out what the weapon was, what room it was in, and who did it.
Is this that Star Trek: The Next Generation Gowron game?
No. Oh,
that has a VHS tape.
That has a VHS tape, yeah. But this,
you said DVD, didn't you?
This is a DVD.
DVD.
Yeah, Scarlet feeling.
2006. I bet you Kabuki Kid has it right.
Have you got any mustard for your
Oh yeah,
sausage?
baby.
Yeah, you have.
Horseradish mustard.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You're making me reverent green with envy. You are.
So is that it, Mr. Jack?
No, he hasn't figured out these clues.
I still don't. I've never played Mr. Jack. Dan King says that's one of his favorite games of all time, and I've never played it. I don't really like deduction games, though.
Yes, Kabuki, it's Clue DVD, or Cluedo DVD, which is like the best version of Cluedo that I've played. I love Cluedo as a kid. I still like playing it. I haven't played this version for a long time, but it's very clever how the DVD interacts. I mean, you have 10 set stories, so once you've gone through those 10 set stories, you're going to know who did the murder. I mean, I couldn't remember now. It's been like about 4 years since we last played it, but I'm sure if I got it out, my daughter would jump at the chance of playing. It works really well. The interactivity of the DVD is like almost using an app, because it actually has a timer. The music will loop twice and then an event will happen, and whoever's playing at that time will have to stop or draw a card or move their character to the room where the inspector is. It's Cluedo, but it's done right in my eyes. Will I play it a lot more? I don't think so. I'll probably play it again soon just to test it, because Chronicles of Crime is the go-to detective game now. So yeah,
a lot of buzz.
Yeah, that's my game number 2, Clue DVD.
Well, my number 1, and this surprises me that you say this is a bad year, because I found a bunch of games that I would gladly pick. Maybe not the best year of all time, but a lot of games. But this particular game gets played all the time. This was where I was really first introduced to worker placement on a on a more significant scale game. I think this game, the artwork is like crazy awesome. The components are fantastic. There's an expansion for this game that is like crazy hard to get. If I could get my hands on this expansion, I would love it. I guess they made a reprint of this game, but I don't think they reprinted the expansion. And it's like, I really would love to have that 5th player expansion for this game, but I love it. The mechanism that you go to select and pay. So I bet you we have a crossover here, don't we?
All the 3 games that you've mentioned are on my played list. I've played all of these 3 games once, but they didn't make my list because I've only played them once. So
well, this game we play all the time. We just recently played it. And this game is, does anybody know the question? It's got some great little buildings.
Struggle for Rome. No, Ben, I don't think it's that. But Kabuki again on the ball. Ka-ching! I'm going to have to make a Kabuki siren, I think.
I think so. We need a drop for Kabuki Kid, a stamp of excellence or whatever.
Pillars of the Earth, it is.
We'll give her a Viking horn, like, oh, like that.
I'm gonna have to research what a Kabuki is. Sounds Oriental.
Well, it might be. Yeah, it might be. Well, the thing that I love about Pillars of the Earth is I love that master builder that comes in, and you've got this kind of little half rondel thing that you're moving along and you're pulling out your tokens. You got 3 of these master builders to go to these different places, but you never know which ones are going to come out. And if you can get the first selection, but you might have to pay 7 or 8 coin, and it becomes kind of hard to get money. And it's just fantastic. And so, oh boy, Kabuki Kid, she said she's everything. She's an Italian, Native American, Irish, and Swiss. No German?
Italian's good enough.
Yeah, Mamma Mia, I like to play the Pillars of the Earth with the ravioli.
The biscotti. The biscotti.
So anyway, I just love that mechanism. There's always this anticipation. And then you've got these certain cards that come out in all this random fashion. So there's a lot of variability do I want to get that master builder over there, or that sculptor, or do I want to get that so I can build a little bit of an engine down here on the bottom? But I've only got 5 cards of capability that I can do. And then am I going to be able to put my worker there first and get that one? Or am I going to grab... I've got these other little 10 workers. Am I going to try to go to the market and trade my goods? I mean, it's just such a fantastic resource management, worker placement, action selection mechanism. I just love this game. I think it's fantastic. It's definitely in my top 10 games of all time, and it was done in 2006.
Now, talking about greatest games of all time, this 2006 game is that. This is the game that you can teach to anybody. And I mean literally anybody, because everybody's played a version of this game. But this is the simple version. This is the most popular version. You can see this everywhere in different forms. It actually has 6 different forms and 6 different colors. And you're going to be placing them out on an imaginary grid.
Different colors?
Different colors. 6 different colors and 6 different shapes.
Oh, I know what it is.
One of the greatest games ever.
I actually like this game. I have a guess. Do we have anybody in the chat that would like to guess? I'll tell you my story while we see if anybody... I actually had a backer for Game Toppers. He's a U.S. veteran, military veteran. And he bought one of our Mycrofts, one of the great big Warhammer type tables, and he was so thrilled that he was able to get a game table. He never thought he'd be able to afford one. Well, it so happened that this guy lived in Fargo, North Dakota, and when I found out, I reached out to him and I called him and I said, "Hey, what would you think if I delivered your topper for you personally?" I said, "I would love to meet your acquaintance and love to meet you and thank you for your service. I would love to come up and do that for you." He goes, absolutely. So I brought up the topper, set it up for him. And then he said, do you have much time for a game? And I said, not really. I said, a little bit. And he said, how about this one? And Kabuki Kid has it right. It's Qwirkle.
Yes, it is.
So I sat down and played Qwirkle with him. And when we got done, he gave me his Qwirkle game. And it's very accessible. You can still buy it. It's not expensive or anything like that. But I just had such a great time meeting this guy, and now that game proudly sits on my shelf. So
yeah, it's one of the greatest games. It's so accessible and so fun, so not too long and not too taxing. It can be as taxing as you want it to be. Literally, you could scratch your head for a good 2 minutes while you try and figure out what to do with your tiles, or you can just plonk them down, slam bam wham, thank you ma'am. It's a fantastic game. Qwirkle is just something that I'll probably talk about a bit later.
Well, there it is. There we have visited the Woods of Evergreen, where the games forever are green and continue to see play in the country of Babblelot. And so, with no further ado, we're going to move on to our next segment. But first, wait, there's more. Game Toppers has a giveaway. Game Toppers, we've been having this Christmas sale that's going on currently, and you can still get a Game Topper. We're almost out of several of our topper sizes. We only have about 3 different sizes left in stock, and they're running out really fast. You still have an opportunity to get it. We're very close to even still being able to deliver by Christmas. There is some expedited shipping options if need be. But we have a special where you can get 20% off if you buy any of our 2 thematic game mats. You can get the Adventure mat, which is fantastic, our #1 seller, or the Space mat. Our classic red and blue mats are super popular. The Dungeon mat, the Wood Grain mat. We have Texas Hold'em and Blackjack, and both of the Secret Cabal mats that Jamie Keggy designed with the War Cobra, which are fantastic. And we have a War Terrain green, a War Terrain white. Well, if you buy 2 of them of any size, you get 20% off. And then all of our other amazing accessories like our Dogmite trays, our cup holders, our rail bundles, where you get a rail that converts your topper into a mini topper with the smaller mat. Those are all 15% off, good only while supplies last or through the end of the year. So with that little shameless plug for Game Toppers, and I'm not ashamed about it at all, because these Game Toppers absolutely upgrade every game you play from here on out. The ultimate gaming accessory. But we have 2 things, and this is the condition on that. I'm going to give away a set of Halvesies dice from Gatekeeper Games. These are the Dwarven exclusive dice that were during Kickstarter campaign. These here are a $13 value, and these are a full set of 7 Halvesies dice. In addition to that, I'm going to give away a Game Topper Game Tote. This is a fully insulated bag that can handle 6 of the Ticket to Ride style boxes, or 3 of the Ticket to Ride style boxes, or 5 of like those Z-Man styles. It zips up on the top, and it's a really nice square package to take to game night. There's even a pouch in the front. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give this gift prize to the first person that I receive an email from now at Berkey@BoardGameTheater.com. Berkey@BoardGameTheater.com. BURKY@BoardGameTheater.com. The first email that I receive, I don't know how all the internet's, it's not fair, but the first one that comes up is going to get this mailed to your house. Please provide your mailing address.
Well, you know my address. I've just sent you an email.
You're excluded from these offers.
But I haven't got one. I want one.
Well, I can send you one on another day.
All right.
All right. So we will refresh my emails, and the first one that comes in.
Totally oblivious. He's totally oblivious to what I'm holding up on the screen.
You got one. Alrighty. Well, with that, Ben says, I have both of those.
You say thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben.
I got to see Ben at PAX again, which was really cool.
Oh,
I remember seeing him at Gen Con as well, so it's so fun to have friends of the show come and visit. That's always a real treat. So with that, let's move on to our next segment.
And now it's time for the Babble, 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 Berkey and Badger's Board Game Babble.
Oh, we have a winner! The mighty Kabuki Kid got in first. And she even has her address in there, sent from her Commodore 64.
Now you've got her address, you can stalk her.
Well, I've already sent promo cards to her once a long time ago, so...
Yeah. In a galaxy far away.
All right, so we're doing the Babble, and we're talking about, game, what to do after the turkey has been finished. What do we mean by that?
What do we mean by that? Well, it's nearly Christmas. We were thinking of doing a top 10 list for Christmas. And what better way to do a top 10 list is to think of those things that you want to plonk on the table after you remove the turkey.
Yeah. After Thanksgiving. But we do turkey for Christmas, too.
You're gutty, you are. You just can't keep... One's never enough.
No, we need to deep fry 3 or 4 of those bad boys.
Jeez-a-loo, man.
Yeah.
Oh, one's enough for me. And then you've got it for the next day after and the day after that. And then there's sandwiches with it. One's enough.
Yeah, this year we had like 12 people over. And I did a 20-pound turkey, but we gobbled that whole thing up. Gobbled that whole thing up.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to go through our top 5 games for the festive season. We're going to do 2 lists of 5. We're going to do our filler style games, and then we're going to do the full kind of like Monty board gaming.
Yeah, so we've got 5 games that are kind of filler style, and then 5 regular board games that we play at the holiday festivity. So yeah, John at Gatekeeper Games, he makes those amazing Havesy Dice Kabuki Kid. And Chris, good to see you. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Yeah, I think it's interesting because when we talk about holiday gaming, I don't know about you, I tend to game with family a lot more through the holidays because it's at my stage of life, my kids are home from college or they have time where we can spend together as a family. We do something in my wife's family. She has 10 brothers and sisters, and when you get all of the cousins and everybody together, there's like 70 or 80 of us. So the tradition has been, there's this lodge that's kind of a Bible camp out on Faith Haven, it's called. It's out on a lake called Eagle Lake, and it's about 20 minutes from us. But they have these huge buildings where they have full-blown kitchens and all this stuff. Well, during the holidays, they're not booked. And so back in the day, part of the family had donated some of this land to the church and so forth. And so we've had the right to be able to rent a weekend at this great big lodge. So this has been a family tradition now for, I don't know, 20, 25 years, whatever it's been. Probably more than that. It's probably been 35 years. Long and short of that, all the families get together there. But you're playing with an interesting group of people that are very diverse in that environment. And family gaming. It's not like a normal game night. So my selection for these, whether it's filler games and or bigger board games, they are tempered a little bit based on the type of game group that I have, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So is that the same thing for you?
Good question. What was it again? No, is it the same for me? No. Our family's a bit smaller. Well, mainly my wife's family is bigger at the higher end. we both come from families where there are 2 kids, and we are the other half of the 2 kids. So our families are quite small, and our families are spread out. This year is going to be the change due to the fact that we will be having it here. It's been a while since we've had one here due to the fact of my father's illness, and it'd be good because the collection's here and we can just break out games, because it's going to be Christmas and my mum and my sister are going to be bored, and this is the only way that I know how to make them happy, is just to play games.
Well, what do you consider the holidays? When does it start for you?
It starts the week of Christmas.
Week of Christmas?
Well, for me, technically, it could start tomorrow if I wanted it to. I could say, well, I'm not doing any more work. That's it. Put my feet up.
Well, that's what we do, actually, because it's the weekend that we go to the lodge is always a week before Christmas. So we're actually going to the lodge this weekend. Mm-hmm. So Saturday we'll be playing some of these games, and we go all the way through New Year's. So, because we're having get-togethers, people are home. Our weekends are more free to do that kind of stuff. So, with that, let's get into the games that we like to play over the holidays after the turkey's gone.
Yeah. These are games that are usually games that we play around this time of year, and there are some games on here which I'm hoping to introduce, and they're going to go down really well because they are really good games as they are. So that's what my list consists of.
All right. Well, do you want to start with fillers first?
We'll start with fillers first and cut to the chase. My first filler is a penguin game called ICECOOL.
Oh.
Very, very simple dexterity game. Very easy and fun for 4 players. Just to quickly set up a course and then play a couple of rounds. It'll fill 15-30 minutes of our evening, but it's fun and everyone can play. My sister can play, her father can play. He's not a big gamer, he'll play cards, but that's about it. So yeah, it's just a fun dexterity, quick playing, good looking game. ICECOOL.
Yeah, we played that the first time at Essen this year, and actually my wife Joan played with also, and it was super fun. Really great selection. ICECOOL. Well, I'm not doing mine in any particular order. But one of the games that we really like, that provides something that is just always very enjoyable, is we really like push your luck games. And push your luck games work good in a group environment and all that kind of stuff. And we just love this little game, Deep Sea Adventure. Just super fun little game. It's like in between. We always do this big bingo thing where there's all kinds of gift prizes and whatnot. And so you got dinner, and you always have these little lulls in between where you don't know how much time you can play. Hey, Rick's in the house. How you doing, brother? But this game, you're deep diving down into the sea and you're trying to get up some goods, but if you take too many of them, that's going to slow your progress to get back up to the boat before everybody else drowns you, so to speak. So it's just this really fun little game, pretty accessible from Oink Games. That's my one of my filler, number 5, we can call it that, for filler games after the turkey's gone.
Yes. My number 4 is a game called Crossings. Very, very simple push your luck and point at people or point at mushrooms to collect gems. A very, very simple game. If too many people pointing at the wrong thing, nobody gains anything. If you're the only person to point at something, you gain the gems on it, and you can steal gems from other players. Very quick playing, very cute and adorable. Love playing this game. Again, it's just you spend 30 seconds explaining it, and then you spend a good 20 to 30 minutes playing 1 or 2 or 3 games of it. It's a fantastically small box, some nice gems, some nice art, and as I said, very, very, very intuitive and great fun for kids.
Yeah, that sounds great. Well, I've got another one. Again, we're staying with the whole push your luck theme, and just this game always is a hit whenever we play it. It's called No Thanks.
Oh yeah.
I love No Thanks. You've got these coins that you're little plastic chips that you're putting on. You've got these numbers. I think it's 36 or something like that. And you're trying to have the lowest amount of cards in your hand But if you don't want to draw one of the cards, you can put this chip on the card, and then everybody puts a chip on it. Well, these chips at the end of the game are worth points, but you can also, kind of hoard these chips so that you don't have to take a card and you don't get stuck with a card that might be like a 34-point card. But if I already had the 35 point, the 34 doesn't cost me anything. So you can kind of bait people a little bit to keep going or stick it to them a little bit. But this game is just so much fun. It's always a hit. Gamers, non-gamers, super accessible. It's from Z-Man Games. No thanks.
Okay, my number 3 is a new game called Catch the Moon, or Décrocher la Lune. A dexterity game where you are just placing ladders up and up and up and up. And this game at first I thought was quite dull and boring, but when you start really delving into how these ladders can fit together, the game is actually really, really mind-bendingly fun. It plays as many players as you want to play at the same time. Again, it's a quick 10-minute dexterity game. With some very nice wooden pieces. A big hit at Essen. Everyone wanted the giant version. Hopefully there will be a giant version, because it is really, really cool.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people playing that. It does look kind of cool.
Yeah, Catch the Moon.
All right, well, my third one, and this here, I'm going to bring out, I've already talked about it, but this here is this anthropomorphic mob animals, GoodCritters. And this game is just so much fun, from Arcane Wonders. I mean, when you see the artwork, you probably can't see it very well here, but the artwork on these characters are really cool. And you're just having so much fun. And I believe we can play up to 8 players. Is that right?
Yeah.
4 to 8 players. It's about 30 minutes. You know, the game just plays so fluidly. It's really easy to teach. Everybody always seems to really enjoy this, and so it's kind of one of these filler category. Even though it's 30 minutes, it's not just 15 minutes, but generally once you play this game, you go, I want to do it again, and you play it again. So that's my number 3, is GoodCritters from Arcane Wonders.
Okay, my number 2 is upside down. My number 2 is Can't Stop. Yes, a really just push your luck, fun, easy game about climbing a mountain with dice and knowing when to stop climbing, because otherwise you fall back down. It's a classic game. It's brilliant. It's simple. It's again, something that I can teach to my parents quite easily, and we could just sit down and have a laugh and just be a family and not talk about the politics of life.
Okay, when I was at PAX Unplugged, the first day I was able to stay at Chris Whitpan's house from Game All Night, and he brought out Can't Stop. It was the first time I had ever played it, and man, did we played with Dan the bartender, and we had so much fun playing that game. I was rolling the dice and rolling really well, and the trick to rolling dice well is abs. And if you get the right amount of ab work, and I got to tell you, I have brilliant abs. You can't see them because they're covered with adipose tissue, but they're brilliant. They're brilliant.
I won't play this game with Rob Oren, that's for sure.
You just a little bit, and oh yeah, got that 8. I'm up to the top. I got that 7. I'm up to the top.
Yeah.
Just so much fun, right?
Tell us what your number 2 is before Dan gets bored.
Number 2!
And signs back off again. Hello, Dan.
My number 2 is a really fun game that I've played before, but I just recently got the new Las Vegas version. And this game is a party-style fun in a box called Wits and Wagers.
Ooh.
Wits and Wagers, and you're betting, and you've got these trivia type things. I've got the great big mat from North Star Games, the Las Vegas version. And one side is the regular version, the other side's Las Vegas. And you get asked these trivia questions, and you have to guess where they are at. And you're betting these chips on where you think the timeline is of this particular question. People just love playing it. It's so easy to teach. It's available at a lot of your large box stores even. So non-gamers, that kind of thing, plays really quickly. Love Wits and Wagers.
Okay, finally, my number one is a game that we will always play. Well, with my side of the family, we will always play because it's a game that everybody loves and everyone can just get their hand of cards and go BAM! That's the Great Dalmuti. Love
the Great Dalmuti!
Playing this trick-taking game where you've just got to get rid of your hand as quick as possible, and then everybody moves around the table in the order that they fall out. And then if you're the Dalmuti, you get the best cards all the time, but you won't always be the Dalmutis. One day, one player might just play a little better with their hand of cards, pushing you out of your seat, or there may be a revolution, much like what almost is happening here in France, that's something I want to talk to you about, how you feel about, after seeing that wonderful Arc de Triomphe being destroyed. Not destroyed, but defaced. But anyway, yeah, Great Dalmuti. Fantastic, fun, trick-taking game, which I don't even need to say anything. It's on the table before even the turkey's there at the same time.
Why didn't we play that game when I was there?
I don't know.
You always talk about it. You didn't bring it out. You could have brought it out in between Ratafia.
But you came into my room and you picked out the games that you wanted to play, and you picked out Ticket to Ride, and you picked out
No. That was for Joan and Aurora.
When we played King and Assassin, and
that we did.
Yeah.
And I just got that game, by the way, Amazon.com. But I couldn't find the deluxe version. Must not be ready yet, huh?
No. It's been Essen release only.
Stunk. You're a mean one. Mr.
What's your number
Grinch.
one? Don't sing. Number one.
Number one is
Port Royal.
I love this game. Steve Jackson Games. This is another push your luck game. You're pirates. You know why pirate jokes are funny, don't you?
No, I do.
'Cause they just are. So, Port Royal, you're putting out different ships, different cards, and the currency is actually on the back of the card is gold, and you get to buy these cards, and you're trying to get to 12 points, and each of these different things are worth different points, and you can get, like the Admiral card or the Governor card or something. They're having fun with us now, aren't they?
They are. They're having fun with you, not me.
So Dan, you can just crawl back in your hole, your hobbit hole there. You're like a huge hobbit giant. That's what you are. So now I don't know why we should criticize our guests or our viewers.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to call Dan, actually. I won't call him late for supper. He's a good friend. That's the nice way of saying it. Okay, so Port Royal. You gotta love Dan and Cora, though, right?
The cutest people on Dice Tower.
And Dan is so adorable. His curly hair. Oh,
it's like living with the last of the summer wine.
You just want to run your fingers through his curly hair. It's so luxuriant and blonde and fine.
He smells like a last summer wine as well.
Port Royal, this game is so fun. We love playing this. That's my number one filler game. Port Royal!
Ben is telling us his favourites are Telestrations, which is a great game, and one that I would play, but because it's in French, it doesn't go around with the English crew, and if I put it in English, it wouldn't go down with the French crew, so it's like a game that I can't really break out of the table. And Suro, which is a fantastic 8-player, simple...
Suro.
Yeah, that's a game that we've played a lot, but I don't think I'll get it out Christmas because, I don't know, it's just... we play it all year round.
I've never played Zorro.
Suro.
Zorro?
Moving right along. So let's move on to our bigger games that we're going to probably play at Christmas, or should be playing at Christmas, or will be playing at Christmas.
Yes, these now we're talking about games that are a little bit more board gamery, right? These are games that are actually a little less party filler style, but really, really main board games. I have a new game on the list. A lot of the games that we play are ones that are more familiar to us, and so bringing a new game to the holiday festivities is usually a little bit tricky, but this particular one is so good and it teaches so easily. This is the game Azul.
Loser. It says.
Azul.
It's upside down. It says loser.
Dave Loser.
Yeah, it's loser.
Loser. You're not a loser if you play this game. This is Azul. This is a tile laying game where you're trying to get tiles across. It's just brilliant. This is made by Plan B Games. They have a new version of it that's kind of like stained glass tower or something like that. We just love this game. It's super fun, super easy to get to the table. So a new one on the list for the holidays, Azul.
I've got one new one on the list for the holidays, and that is Chronicles of Crime, which is, as I said earlier, is my replacement for Cluedo. And I think this is going to go down really well at the table. My daughter is always asking to play this, and I don't want to like zoom through all the scenarios so she knows everything. I want to play it with more players, and I want to play it definitely with my family because it is a great Cluedo game where you're guessing who did the murder. And I can see my sister getting into it quite deeply as well. She likes watching TV and crime dramas, so that's my number 5.
And that's app-driven also, right?
That's app-driven and story-driven and music-driven, but I'm not going to talk about the music. So.
That's because you did the music for it, and I'm sure it's
I'm not
fantastical.
Okay. You didn't watch my review where I slate myself.
No, I never do. Never do. But
well, that's your number 4.
Number 4 is a game that we just love as a family. I just recently got the new expansion at Essen, the new Venus expansion. This game is Concordia. This here, we have 2 boxes. This just has all the maps that are in Concordia. We just love this game. There's Concordia Venus. The new box is better than the old box. The old box looks kind of silly, but we love the action selection of these cards that you're playing to either go up and recruit new cards to add to your deck, or just that whole playing down of the cards. The new Salt expansion, Salsa, I should say, is fantastic. The new Venus expansion just adds another layer.
Everything tastes better with salsa.
Everything is better with Happy Mouth on it. And so Concordia is just a family favorite that's easy for us to get to the table because we all know it and just look forward to playing it. So, and we've been playing it for quite a time. So that's one that'll hit the table at Christmas time.
One game that always hits the table, especially when all the guests are gone, is this big boy called Pastiche.
Oh, Pastiche.
The painting game where you're painting pictures by aligning tiles to get the colours and then mixing the colours to get the colours that you want to finish the paintings. We love playing this game. In fact, we love this game so much that I'm going to frame it due to the fact that for the first time since I've had this game, out of the 15 plays that I've played with just the wife and me, I actually beat her once. And that was last week, and I am so chuffed to nuts. I'm nuff chatted.
Nut-chapted.
Yeah, and
that's the new one.
We're going to be playing that again. It might just be me and the wife, but I know that...
Why didn't we play that game when we were at your house?
You didn't stay long enough. You had to go to Paris and have a look at all the nice stuff in Paris. Yes, you did. You're up here like you didn't want to sleep in my bed.
Because you were in it.
There's so many games for us that I wanted to play Sheriff in Nottingham with you. Charlotte wanted to play Sheriff in Nottingham. Why didn't we do that?
Why didn't we play Sheriff of Nottingham? Dadgum. All right, number 3. This is a game that we just love, and this game just got a ton better. And I'm going to tell you why. You might say, Berkey, why is it better? I'm so glad you asked.
Because you've bought some crew with it?
Because I have deluxeified it through a friend.
Ooh.
This is a story. This game is Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Love this dice rolling game, trying to collect, to dominate the casinos that you're playing at. You're rolling dice. If you roll 2 3s and 2 2s and 1 6, you have to choose like numbers to try to go. So if I took 2 of my 3s and put it on the 3 casino, there might be money next to it that's $80,000 and maybe a 30,000. They all go up to 50, but you're randomly putting down the dollar amount, so you're vying for first place and sometimes second place, whoever dominates that casino. It's super fun. It's one of the first games that my son-in-law Chris played with us, who just adored, and became such a great family event. But while I was at Chris Whitpan's house, he custom made this playmat. And this thing is awesome. Can you see it?
Yeah. It makes those
I
dice...
look like Badger behind his wall of games on his intro videos from days gone by.
From days gone by.
Okay. Well, so this playmat is just like crazy cool because it's got all of the casinos, and I mean, good grief. It just doesn't get any better than that. Chris, thank you so much. I love this thing. Very cherished gift. And we love Las Vegas from Ravensburger Games as one of our family Christmas games.
Okay, my number 3 is a game that everyone will play. It's Jamaica. Yes, 6 players and pirates can storm around the island by rolling dice and moving their boats. This is particularly great with the old ones when they mix up the symbols of their cards and they do the wrong actions turn after turn. They think they're moving forward first, then collecting cargo, but they're actually collecting cargo, then moving forward. 1 space. Or backwards.
Why didn't we
6
play
space.
that game?
We played this game.
We played this game at Gen Con.
We did. Love it still. It's an amazing game. Very, very, very cool roll and move mechanic. But it is a fantastic, beautifully looking family game of racing around an island, and it works so well, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, love
Jamaica.
that game. How do you like the expansion for it, the crew?
It's okay.
Yeah, it's kind of the way I felt too. I think the main game was just fine, but the crew added a little bit of variability, so it's different. But
yeah, you can choose your powers, or you can choose treasure instead of getting them randomly dealt to you from the deck. But that's what it changes, basically.
yeah, it's a fantastic game, and it's a pirate game.
It's a pirate game.
Yeah, you know why pirate jokes are funny, don't you?
I sound like Dan Hughes. Hello, I'm Dan Hughes, and this is Cora.
Everybody knows. So, my number 4 is a game that we love. This game, I hope that we get to play this Christmas because we just always have so much fun. This game here is called Lords of Vegas.
I'm noticing a theme. About 4 of your games have got Vegas in them.
You know, that's true. I didn't even realize that. But yeah, I guess we're a bunch of gambling nuts here. But Lords of Vegas is dice rolling, and you're trying to control hotels along the strip. When you do, you can get multipliers for different things. There's an expansion that we have for this game. Whenever we play that, there's a little bit of push your luck where you can go to a casino. There's all kinds of different things that go on. There's some negotiation almost involved in it. We love this game, Lords of Vegas. And that's by Mayfair Games.
Okay, my number 2. We played this.
Ticket to Ride Europe.
Yay! This game always hits the table at Christmas. I don't know. It just has. I don't know if it's the artwork which has like this Christmas feel to it. It just looks like a Christmassy game on the table as well. It just, I don't know. It just rings Christmas. It's a fun, easy to get into, build your route game, and it's a family favorite, and I'm sure a lot of people no, you don't like it, Dan. All right, maybe not everybody likes it. Oh, you're gonna contact your lawyers about my accent. Okay.
We played that at your house.
We did indeed, and again, that's a game my wife normally wins at. And who won?
Your wife.
Yeah.
And I think my wife took me over too.
Yeah.
I think I was very, very much at the end of that game.
I came 4th out of 5th, I think. I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember if I beat you or not. I think I might have. I
think
might
you
have
did.
lost to you. I might have won.
I can't remember if it was either Charlotte that lost or you that lost. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think I lost. I think I stunk. I think I got a couple of my routes ripped off.
You
okay.
did. Yeah.
Number 1. My number 1 game, family game that we love to play. This is one of those epic Days of Wonder, super fun games. Colosseum.
Ooh.
Colosseum is such a great game.
Why didn't we play that game while you were here?
Because
Oh,
you
wait a
don't
minute.
have it.
I don't have it. Yeah.
You don't have it. This is the original, not the Tasty Minstrel funky art one. I'm so thankful Tasty Minstrel remade the game, but I hate the art of the new game.
No.
I love the art of the old one. I like the pawns, and I think those that have never played it, they wouldn't even care. They would love the new Tasty Minstrel one. So if you've never played it, don't worry. But once you've played the original one, you just go, it's just too cool. You're going around trying to do these events, and you got to collect. You've got this awesome little auction mechanic. You're pulling all these different characters out, whether it's lions or gladiators, or you're pulling out torches to put on your show, and you got to collect all these different sets of them. But there's this auction mechanic that causes this extra fun tension, and you're trying to build your Colosseum, and then you guys are running around the map. You're trying to get the senator in there to get extra points, and you're trying to get the Imperial guy, Caesar, in there or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic. Love that game. It's a Wolfgang Kramer game. Kramer game, and it's Colosseum, Days of Wonder, number 1 family Christmas after
Vegas.
the turkey game.
Vegas style. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Vegas feel. There's a Vegas version somewhere in the future.
I have Vegas Qwirkle.
Oh, wow. That's one of your top ones.
That is the top. This is the game that everybody around my area knows. This is the game that my in-laws know. This is the game that my mum knows. This is a game that not only you will play after your turkey, you will play after your afternoon cup of tea and mince pie as well. This is a game that you also probably play before you go to bed before Christmas.
Can you do aperitif when you play this game?
You can do aperitif when you. In fact, most of the neighbours that we have for aperitif come and play this while we have aperitif. So it's Ratafia and Qwirkle.
Oh, we should have done that.
We should have done that.
Dang.
But I thought you wanted to play games that you hadn't played, maybe. But yeah, my number 1 Christmas game has got to be Qwirkle. This is just such a great, easy opening family game. You just wang it on the table and you just start playing. There's no explanation. Everybody knows what they're doing. It's so simple that it just cuts to the chase, and then you can spend a good hour with your head down calculating every possibility of what you're going to draw, how you're going to draw it, what tiles are remaining. We love this as a challenge game. We play this whenever we go to England at my mum's as well. And occasionally we play with the in-laws as well when we go for dinner from around their houses. It's fantastic.
Wow.
Dull as plums, but it's fantastic.
And you notice that I have a little bit of holly in my tapa hat for Christmas. I even have a Christmas wreath behind me.
Oh, I thought that was the hemorrhoids coming out.
No, it's not hemorrhoids. But I do have mistletoe above my head too. You can't see it because it's above the camera, but
Does that mean I got to kiss you?
Sure.
So what have they been saying in the chat then? What games have they been reeling off? Dan Hughes says Time's Up is a classic at Christmas.
Scrabble. I hate Scrabble, Ben. I'm with you. I hate that game.
Kabuki likes playing Dixit as a filler. I did have Dixit in my mind, but
Letter Tycoon.
It's one of those games I can't play with mixed languages, so that's fallen on the side. Again, Time's Up. Timeline has fallen off my list in a way, due to the fact that, with the English and French, some of the words are not so easily translatable, so people don't know what it is.
Yeah. La Fleur.
Yeah. Kabuki also says Hive, Duke, and Onitama, usually chess-like games.
Onitama's good, yeah.
Yeah, I would put Onitama on my list because I know my daughter likes playing that game, but it would be a case of it would be just me and my daughter playing it, and nobody would bat an eyelid.
She plays LOL. What is that?
LOL.
It must be a good... LOL. LOL. Yeah. It's a good game, I guess. She knows games.
Yeah, it's a Vegas game.
Well, it's a wood game. She goes, I like wood games. No, she's not wood games. Word games. It's a play on wood or a play on words. One of the two. Yeah.
The paperback as well.
Paperback. That's a wood game.
And Letter Tycoon.
Letter Tycoon. Yeah, word games are not my gig. Whenever they pull out the word games, I run for the fish house.
Yeah, it's the same with Telestrations. It's a kind of word game, but I'll play it because I like misspelling things.
Yeah, they pull out Scrabble, and they pull out apples to apples, and they pull out
apples to apples
categories or
apples to apples is not a spelling game. That's a connection game.
Yeah. No good.
You don't like Harry Potter games? They got spells in them.
Yeah, word games, so they're the worst. Words are evil. That's all I can say.
They can cut deep. They can heal wounds, though.
Yes, this is true. So can spit and mud.
Actions speak louder than words for me.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Okay. Well, we've had a great fun talking about games from 2006. Mm-hmm. And we got to see all of all of the games from the Woods of Evergreen, and we got to talk about things that make us go home and rile us up, and we got to talk about all of the games all of the games that we like to play with family at Christmas. I say that we've actually had a pretty good show going on here.
Yeah,
we've talked about more games than we hardly ever talk about.
Well, it's because we've done 3 lists. Did the Evergreen list, we did a filler list, and a full game list.
We did a lot of lists.
And
I don't even like lists.
No, they're clickbait, basically.
Clickbait for the lists.
Yeah.
Top 10 games of all time by Berkey and Badger.
I reckon
55,000 views.
Top 10 board game reviewer list. Yeah. At number 3, Dan Hughes.
Dan Hughes and his luxuriant golden locks.
At number 2, Undead Viking. At number 1, Kabuki. No, not Kabuki. Korra.
Korra the Kid.
Korra the Kid.
Maybe Korra is Kabuki Kid. KK.
Yeah, maybe.
But maybe it's CC Korra. No, it's CH Korra Hughes. That doesn't even work. It didn't make any sense when I first said it, and doesn't make any more now.
No.
Oh, well.
Say goodnight, Berkey.
Good night, Berkey.
It does work as a kind of shut the plums up, man.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Well, this has been so much fun. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again with all of our silliness. All of our board game banter. We truly are so grateful for all of you joining us. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that people are willing to tolerate us at the very least, and maybe enjoy what we do. So we're just so grateful. You can check us out at many different places. Barry, where can they find us?
They can find me on the toilet between 9 o'clock and 9:30 every morning.
That's the ritual.
That's the ritual. But you can find us on BoardGameTheatre.com as well as BoardGamesEverybody.should.com. I had to think about that one. Wow.
Yeah.
Brain freeze. I'm thinking of sausage. You can also find us on Board Game Geek on our guild 2248. You can find us on YouTube, Berkey and Badger, Board Game Babble Show, and you can find us on Libsyn as well as every other kind of podcast-related podcasty thing. The Berkey and Badger Board Game Babble Show.
And that's one of the things, too. You know, if you've never joined and listened to our audio show, Barry does an amazing job with his production. I listened to 2 of the episodes coming home from Dallas, and I just got to say, the production value, and maybe this is weird me talking about it, but I listened to it and went, wow, that's really well done, because Barry just does a fantastic job with that show.
Yeah, I cut out everything he says, and I just leave
that's
me
why
on
it's so
there.
dang good, of course. But and then he redubs over his own voice for the stupid things he said during the live show.
In fact, Dan, you're correct. My next guest star, we're going to replace Berkey with a packet of prunes. They will help enhance the numbers of listeners and viewers on the Berkey and Board Game
and they
Babble.
enhance things to move along in the lower tract.
I'm just starting to be funny. It's the end of the show, and I'm starting to be funny and enjoying myself. Or maybe I'm getting better. Maybe this cold is coming out now.
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe it is.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining
thank
us.
you.
We love you guys, and we hope to hear from you soon. And after the new year, we'll be doing another show. We're probably going to take a little break here with our families over the Christmas and New Year's break. And Kabuki Kid, I got that Game Topper Game Tote and that set of Havesies dice in the mail to you. Thank you so much, sis. That's it. Send us out.
Thank you again for listening to Berkey and Badger's Board Game Babble. This show was written, produced, and performed by Kevin Burkhardt-Smyer and Barry Doublet, as was the music too, with a little help from the Balance of Power. Although the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly theme was composed by Ennio Morricone, and background effects were supplied by Sirenscape. Enhance your gaming at Sirenscape.com. Join us next time where we might have a special guest or we may review a game. But either way, there'll be more craziness and more babbling.